Hello friends, in this clip we shall discuss about incomplete dominance. In dominance, dominant allele completely suppresses the recessive allele in heterozygous condition. But in incomplete dominance, in heterozygous condition, the dominant allele does not completely suppress the effect of recessive allele. Thus, in heterozygous condition, an intermediate phenotype is produced. For example, inheritance of flower color in these two plants, Snapdragon and Mirabilis jalapa. In these plants, the allele for red colored flower is incompletely dominant over the allele for white colored flower. So here this capital R represents the allele that controls the production of red colored flowers, whereas this small letter R, it controls this allele, is recessive allele that controls the character of white colored flowers. The possible genotypes and phenotypes are as follows. Here you can see, if the genotype is homozygous dominant, then red flowers are produced. In homozygous recessive condition, white flowers are produced. But in heterozygous condition, pink colored flowers are produced. Here you can see the difference between dominance and incomplete dominance. In dominance, in heterozygous condition, here you can see the dominant trait is produced. So in heterozygous condition, so tall is the dominant character with respect to height. So it is expressed in heterozygous condition. But here you can see in incomplete dominance, in heterozygous condition, pink color flowers are produced. That is intermediate between red and white. So normally what we think in case of dominance, suppose if this Mirabilis jalapa and Snapdragon, they are showing inheritance of flower color with respect, okay, it obeys, suppose if it obeys the law of dominance, then this should be red, but it is not so. So instead, pink color flowers are produced in heterozygous condition. Now this is the difference between complete dominance and incomplete dominance. So inheritance of flower color in Snapdragon is an exception for dominance. So in short, in complete dominance, in heterozygous condition, only dominant allele is expressed. In incomplete dominance, in heterozygous condition, intermediate phenotype is produced. So in this class, the inheritance of flower color in Snapdragon is shown. When a true breeding when a true breeding plant with red flower is crossed with a true breeding plant that produces white flowers in F1 generation, all plants produce pink colored flowers. When F1 plants, here you can see these F1 plants, they are selfed in F2 generation, plants with red plants with red, pink and white flowers are produced in the ratio of 1 is to 2 is to 1. So here you can see this genotype produces red flower, this genotype produces white flower, and these two heterozygous genotypes, they produce intermediate phenotype, that is pink colored flowers. So one part, okay, one part red color, two parts pink color flowers, and one part white color flowers. So here you can see that in incomplete dominance, both genotypic ratio and phenotypic ratio are same. That is 1 is to 2 is to 1. Okay. So 1 in gender ratio, 1 homozygous dominant, heterozygous 2 heterozygous, and 1 homozygous recessive. So these are genotype ratios. And phenotype ratios, 1 is to 2 is to 1, 1 red, 2 pink, and 1 white. Now let's solve some questions related to incomplete dominance. In Mirabilis jalapa, a heterozygous plant is crossed with a plant having white colored flowers. if the total number of seeds produced by this cross is 40, then how many of those seeds will produce plants with pink flowers? In Mirabilis, heterozygous plant produces pink colored flowers. So we know that. So here the plant is heterozygous, so it produces pink colored flowers. When it is crossed with that produces white colored flowers, so this is genotype of the plant that produces white colored flowers, and this is genotype of plant that produces pink colored flowers. So these are the parents here. So heterozygous plant is crossed with the plant with that produces white color flowers. Then in F1 generation, 50% of the plants are pink. Okay, 50% of the plants produce pink color flowers and 50% plants produce white colored flowers. So here what is given is the number of seeds produced is 40, of which 50% will produce pink color flowers and remaining 50% will produce white color flowers. So 50% of 40 is 20. Hence 20 seeds will produce plant with pink flowers. Okay. Next question. In Antirrhinum, two plants, Antirrhinum is nothing but snapdragon. In Antirrhinum, two plants with pink flowers were hybridized. The F1 plants produced red, pink, and white flowers in the proportion of one red, two pink, and one white. What could be the genotype of the two plants used for hybridization? So they are asking the genotype of these plants, okay, which produced pink flowers. So they have mentioned red flower color is determined by homozygous dominant genotype and white by homozygous recessive genotype. Now here the genotypes of plants is asked. Okay, genotypes of parents. Now these two plants they produced pink flowers. Now they have clearly mentioned that the parent plants have pink colored flowers. So antirrhinum or snapdragon plant shows incomplete dominance. So we already know that pink flowers are produced in heterozygous condition. Hence, the genotype of the parents is this. This is heterozygous. So both the parents have this genotype.